Israel has confirmed the killing of Hashim Safieddine, a high-ranking Hezbollah leader and presumed successor to Hassan Nasrallah. The Israeli military announced that airstrikes in the Daya suburb in southern Beirut had killed Safieddine and Ali Hussein Hazima, the head of Hezbollah's intelligence branch, in early October. The airstrike also killed 25 other leaders. The Israeli military says it has intercepted 2 drones that were launched from east and crossed into Israel's waters in the area of Eilat. The Islamic resistance in Iraq has claimed responsibility for the attack. In 2 statements, it said that it attacked Israel's port city of Eilat with drones twice on Wednesday. The pro-Iranian militant group added that it struck vital targets there. During a campaign in North Carolina, former U.S. President Donald Trump went after his Democratic rivals, calling Vice President Harris a low IQ individual and her running mate Tim Walz the stupidest man running for office. Trump once again pointed fingers to the federal government for its response following Hurricane Helene and urged displaced voters to request ballots to their temporary accommodations. The storm dumped more than 14 inches of rain over 3 days onto western North Carolina, transforming mountainsides into mudslides and creeks into torrents. Latest poll by Reuters Ipsos continues to reveal a razor-thin margin between both presidential nominees. Numbers reveal that Kamala Harris held a marginal 46% to 43% lead over her Republican rival Donald Trump. However, the poll showed that voters favored Trump's approach on critical issues of economy and migration. On economy, Trump led Harris 46% to 38%, while on immigration, Trump was ahead at 48%, with Harris trailing at 35%. Hitting the campaign trail for Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris in Wisconsin, former U.S. President Barack Obama warned voters that an older, loonier Donald Trump cannot be allowed back into office. Obama appeared alongside Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Walz and Obama took aim at former President Trump's age and behavior, with Walz saying that Trump doesn't have the stamina to be president, and Obama mocking Trump's marketing to branded watches and Bibles. U.S. President Joe Biden said Republican candidate and former President Donald Trump is a threat to democracy and should be locked up politically, as he exhorted Democrats at New Hampshire campaign office to win the November 5th election. He added that Trump wants to disregard the safeguards of the U.S. Constitution. A day after Beijing held live-fire exercise near Taiwan, Taiwan's defense minister said a Chinese aircraft carrier group sailed through the Taiwan Strait on Wednesday. The Liaoning aircraft carrier group was spotted overnight in waters near the Taipei administration Pratas Islands, about 400 kilometers southwest of Taiwan and heading north towards the sensitive Taiwan Strait. Taiwan's defense minister said that the Liaoning was passing through the Taiwan Strait, sailing north along the west of the median line, adding that Taiwan is closely monitoring it. China has launched a Long March 2C carrier rocket to place a new group of remote sensing satellites in space. The satellites of the Jongun 4303 group were launched at 9:09 a.m. from the Xishang satellite launch center in southwestern province of Sichuan and enter the preset orbit. They will be mainly used for tests on new technologies for low-orbit constellations. This was the 542nd flight mission of the Long March series rockets. Peru's President Dana has announced that her government will monitor money transfers sent abroad from Venezuelans living in Peru, describing the measure as a response to rising crime that she linked to Venezuelan migrants. The president made the announcement ahead of a strike by transport companies scheduled for Wednesday to demand greater government action on insecurity and extortion, and also described a readjustment to her government's migration policies in response to news of reports of crimes committed by Venezuelans living in Peru. According to UN Refugee Agency, more than 1.5 million Venezuelans have migrated to Peru in recent years. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un visited strategic bases and examined the readiness for action of strategic deterrence while calling the U.S. strategic nuclear capabilities as a threat. Kim Jong-un was quoted to have said that the U.S. strategic nuclear means pose an ever-increasing threat to North Korea's security environment, and long-term threats demand Pyongyang's thorough and strict counteraction posture of its nuclear forces. Kim also urged the modernization of the armed forces by giving priority to strategic missile force in the future, calling it an important principle of strategy for building national defense. At least 11 people, including 12 children, were killed after a fuel truck exploded next to a highway in Uganda. According to the police, the truck overturned after an accident and later exploded in a town just outside Kampala. Footage showed workers retrieving the bodies of the victims as well as investigators at the scene. A video shared online by an onlooker appeared to also show people scooping up fuel from the truck before the blast. In Bangladesh, several hundred protesters tried to storm the presidential palace demanding President Mohammad Shahabuddin's resignation for his recent comment on deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. In an interview with Bangla Daily, Shahabuddin said that he did not have any documentary evidence of Hasina resigning as Prime Minister before she fled the country on the 5th of August amid student-led mass protests. The police eventually fired sound grenades, prompting army troops to later intervene and then send policemen inside the palace. The anti-discrimination student movement, which spearheaded the campaign that led to the ouster of Hasina, rallied in front of the central Shahid Minar here, demanding Shahabuddin's resignation. The U.S. Embassy in Sri Lanka has issued a travel warning to citizens traveling to the island nation. It claimed to have received credible information of an attack targeting popular tourist locations in eastern Oregon Bay. The warning comes after social media posts called for a boycott of Israeli-owned businesses in the area. Cyclone Dana has prompted heightened alerts across the eastern coast of India, with West Bengal and Odisha preparing for its landfall. The cyclone, which is currently intensifying over the Bay of Bengal, is expected to hit the coast between the night of the 24th of October and the morning of the 25th of October. Taking precautionary measures as India Met Department warns that Cyclone Dana could reach wind speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour. Eastern Philippines, a torrential rain set off by an approaching tropical storm swamped cities and towns overnight into widespread flooding that trapped people, sparking frantic appeals for rescue boats and trucks. The government shut down public schools and government offices on the entire main island of Luzon to protect millions of people as tropical storm Trami blew closer from the Pacific. Thousands of villagers have been evacuated to emergency shelters in northeastern provinces, and storm warnings were raised in more than 24 northern and central provinces, including in the densely populated capital of Manila. India has rolled out a new system to block international calls that pose as local numbers. Within the first 24 hours of operation, telecom providers blocked about 90% of these fake calls from reaching users. Launched by Communications Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, the International Incoming Spoofed Calls Prevention System aims to enhance cybersecurity and reduce scams. These spoofed calls, which display Indian numbers but originate abroad, have been used for fraud, impersonation and other crimes. And according to government, with this new system, Indian telecom users should see a sharp drop in such scams. A new federal rule in the United States that bans fake online reviews is now in effect, issued by the Federal Trade Commission in August. The rule targets businesses that buy or sell fraudulent reviews. The rule went into effect on Monday, enabling the FTC to impose civil penalties on violators. The ban specifically targets fake reviews attributed to non-existent people, those created by AI or individuals who haven't used the product or service. A group of bipartisan U.S. senators are urging President Biden to review the security of undersea communication cables. The senators, led by Republican Todd Young and Democrat Chris Murphy, have expressed concern over potential sabotage by Russia and the growing influence of China in laying and maintaining these cables. These cables, which are crucial for global connectivity, are often mapped publicly to avoid accidental damage. The U.S. has long raised concerns about China's role in global network infrastructure due to potential espionage risks. A recent study has revealed that AI-powered models can accurately diagnose infectious eye conditions, matching the skills of eye care specialists. Conducted by the University of Birmingham, the research has highlighted the potential of AI models to benefit regions with limited access to specialist eye care. The AI was effective in distinguishing between healthy eyes, infected cornea, and various causes of keratitis, including bacterial and fungal infections. Goldman Sachs tactically lowered Indian equities to neutral from overweight. The group cites relatively slowing economic growth, denting the outlook for corporate earnings. The cautious stance comes on the back of growing concerns over sustainability of company earnings amid weakening consumer spending and increasing commodity prices. India's record stock rally is already showing signs of fatigue. The benchmark NSE Nifty 50 index plunged more than 5% in October, on track for its worst month in more than 4 years. Gold prices continue to scale new peaks as conflicts in West Asia and uncertainty surrounding the upcoming U.S. elections spurred demand for safe haven assets. Spot gold was steady after hitting its highest level at $2,749. Gold's rally comes despite the rival U.S. dollar clinging to a more than 2-month peak. Bullion has gained more than 33% this year and scaled multiple records driven by global uncertainties and a loose monetary policy environment. Meanwhile, silver fell 0.7% after hitting its highest level since late 2012. Apple CEO Tim Cook meets with China's Minister for Industry and Information Technology during a visit to Beijing this week. According to the statement, Jin told Cook that he hoped Apple would continue to deepen its presence in China, increase its investment in innovation, grow with Chinese companies, and share the dividends of high-quality development. The trip is Cook's second to China this year. His posts on X, like Weibo's social media platform, show that he visited an organic farm and toured ancient neighborhoods with artists including local photographer Shen Man. China is the world's biggest smartphone market, where in recent quarters, the iPhone maker has been losing market share to domestic rivals. Tokyo Metro's stock price soared as much as 47% on its trading debut after its initial public offering drew strong demand from investors. The deal was reportedly oversubscribed more than 15 times, and according to analysts, a high dividend yield for Japan and growing earnings are making Tokyo Metro shares attractive. That's because the company's business is concentrated in an urban area and is thought to be less affected by Japan's declining population. The share of price of Japanese companies that have gone public this year has risen 34% on average.